Hello and welcome to all of you. First of all, thank you for watching. I hope you keep on watching. This is a video that I want to make about the solar eclipse in Leo and a little bit about the subject about narcissism. I hope the camera is a bit better now, because a lot of you did let me know in a very special Virgo / Sagittarian way that I had to do something about my camera thing. And it is so funny that your YouTube channel audience is just a reflection of you. I mean, it's unbelievable. There are many people who are observers and who look at the details, but say it to me very gently. I love it. In other words, I love my audience. Does that mean that I love me? Probably I do. Anyway, let's cut the crap. Let's start with this very dark subject. That's why I want to bring it a bit light here. Narcissism and narcissistic traits. It's a very dark thing. And I want to make a video. Maybe I'm going to make a series of videos. That depends on you, because I want to do that, but I also want to know what my audience wants. And I want to talk about this subject because it's going to come up on a collective level more than usual. And because of the energy that is going on right now. So astrologically, we are having, actually as I speak now, a new moon in Leo. And it's happening. I'm a Sagittarius rising, so technically this is happening in the house of inspiration. And I do feel inspired. But we are going to have another new moon also in Leo. And this is an eclipse, which is a bit more, you could say, energetically a bit more forceful. So a lot of the Leo energy is going to come up. And I want to make some things clear about questions that I have sometimes about, I'm living with a Leo and he's a narcissist, or I'm living with someone who's got, who's really selfish and really wants to undermine my self-confidence all of the time, and he's got Leo traits or she's got Leo traits, etc, etc. First of all, I want to make one thing clear, and very clear, which is very hard, but it is the following. There is a lot of information about narcissism. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Look it up. I want an intelligence audience. I don't want an audience like you who are going to get spoon-fed, or how do they say that in English? I want you to look it up yourself, what it is. If you have an interest in it, look it up. Look Wikipedia or whatever. Look up what it means, so that you will see that you have to be very careful, because nowadays, and a lot of clients, I say that a lot to clients of mine as well, and I use it in my personal life too. It is very tempting to say to other people, to give them labels of, you are a narcissist and you are manic depressive, and it's so dangerous to do. First of all, it's negative. Secondly, it's 90% out of the question, 90% of the cases, it's not true. Having a narcissistic personality disorder, how do you say that? I can't even explain it myself. It's one of, you could say, it's a disease. Being a narcissist is a very serious thing. And but knowing the difference between the disease and someone who has a bit of traits of that, of the narcissistic disease, so to speak, the personality disorder that is, there's a great difference. So that's the first thing I want to say, because there's going to come a lot up here. You know, eclipses are there to shake us up a little bit, to put some crises here and there, so that we will learn and we will see the truth. That's the positive side of a crisis. There's always a positive side of it, because a crisis is actually an invitation for immense growth very rapidly. Again, I have a Sagittarius rising, and I think that's an easy way to deal with than to say, oh, eclipses are coming and it's going to be crisis, and you see that's going out, starting from fear. That's not really interesting. But what I'm trying to say is, first of all, be aware that when you think sometimes that your mother, your dad, your sibling, your friend, sometimes too, your child, your and your lover are narcissists, think twice before you say that, because we all have narcissistic traits, which is something totally different. I'll give you a very practical example. If someone is watching their own video YouTube, for instance, that they made, are they going to be a narcissist because they do so? No. It depends what the intention is, but it doesn't do anyone harm, does it? Again, when you're doing a selfie on Facebook, and a lot of people will think, oh, if you do that all the time, I don't even have Facebook, but anyways, it doesn't mean that I don't look at other people who do have that. Does it mean that you're a narcissist because you're taking selfies? You're 16 years old, for instance, you're taking selfies all of the time? Of course not. But is it a narcissistic trait? Absolutely. You see what I mean? We have even all of the YouTubers, for instance, they do have to be a tiny little bit narcissistic in order to be able to present themselves, watch into a camera and pretend that they are performing or whatever. You know, it's not all bad. That's what I want to say. Those Leo traits, Leo is like every other sign. It's got good things and it's got things that are a bit less good. And most of the people, most of the Leos are a bit both. I mean, there will be the two extremes, which is the very, very good Leo and a very, very bad Leo. But most people are a bit in between. So that's the first thing. We all have those traits and it's not always bad. Of course, that doesn't mean to say that we have to be very aware of this. So I want to raise a bit the awareness here basically with this little video, but there's a lot to say about it, and it's a good thing because people are really, actually in my very humble opinion, I'm not a psychologist or whatever or a psychiatrist, but in my humble, it's about people who do attract narcissists in their life, or not people with many narcissistic traits. They do have a bit of a problem with boundaries. They do have they're not self-confident enough, so they seek someone who looks very confident but who isn't, deep down inside. They attract each other because they have the same wound, of course. They have the same wound. This narcissistic person also is wounded. And I don't want to say that, oh, narcissistic people are pity them. No, it's just the truth. They also act from wounding. And but it's also very important to know, hey, that's their drama. That's, again, drama. Isn't that a Leo thing? That's their drama. I have to protect myself against that. So this is like a bit of an intro video, but I really want to, if you, my lovely audience out there, I'm saying this from the heart. I'm not just sugarcoating here or whatever. I really want to know if you want me to explore a bit more about that. And of course, starting from an astrological view and then looking up. Because a lot of people deal with these problems of boundaries. You know, you've got someone who's got the same, you've got two opposites, so to speak. You've got the more of the narcissistic kind of person that because lack of confidence, again a Leo thing, lack of confidence, they kind of overdo it. These are the overt narcissistic ones who are very good on stage and who are, you know, the drama queens, so to speak, and the ones who really pretend that they kind of think of themselves the world. They overdo it, but it's also a wounding of not... If someone is very confident, neutral, you don't have to shout it out, do you? That's what I'm trying to say. And then you've got the other characteristic temperament of I'm never good enough, I'm not one, so I better attract someone who is. So they get, and that creates toxic relationships, of course. And don't forget, these people can shift roles every now and then. That's also something that is, I don't find it enough in articles. I mean, but it's so true, I think. I mean, I'm speaking out of life experience and experience with clients, that sometimes people do shift roles. So it's very important to, with this Leo energy, to know that a very good Leo trait is indeed to become confident, is indeed to be warm, to be the heart chakra, to be loving, but also to protect yourself, you know, like a queen or like a king, if you like, that knows that what people are doing and knows the wounding and is very loyal to that, and is very, therefore I often find Leos also very wise. And so don't think that someone is a Leo so they are very selfish, or no, it probably is a bit in with both of them, and we all have Leo somewhere in our chart, so we all express that these Leo traits in a particular way. If you have it in the 7th house, then you will attract people who are like that. If it is you, then you show more those traits, and so on and so on. So we all, our buttons are going to be pushed in different ways with this eclipse. Let's say, for instance, you have a moon in Leo. You will be triggered maybe by your mom. Maybe your mom is going to, and maybe you thought that this was all sorted out and that you had perfect, healthy boundaries with each other. Now all of a sudden something happens. Maybe you're becoming yourself a mom, and all of a sudden she pushes your buttons. She wants to take over, or she is very selfish. She shows the negative signs, so to speak, of the Leo, which is dominance, and it's I want to rule here. And then it's up to you as your growth path, so to speak, to stand up against your mum in this case, which is one of the hardest things to do, of course. A parent and a lover, it's very, very difficult, because these people, you are attached to them, which is not love, which is not, I want to say so much in this one video, which is not good, I think, but anyways. So someone could, people who've got moon in Leo, maybe you're going through something like this. You're going to be triggered by your mom, for instance. Other people can be triggered by a sibling. You know, how many clients do I have that, and sometimes there's a life difference, but it doesn't always have to be that way, that are really feeling a very unbalanced power thing going on with a sibling. You know, they feel like they are parented by their older sibling, for instance, or even the other way around. It doesn't really matter. All these things are going to come up towards the surface, and especially also, of course, in love relationships. Sometimes we say, oh, I love them, and you totally are feeling controlled, or you giving away the control, or you're being controlled. That's of course not love. And it's very, very difficult for people who are in narcissistic relationships, which are toxic relationships, which are codependent relationships. It's very difficult to see that that is not love. That is, yes, it could be very passionate, it could be very, you know, with ups here and downs there, but it's not healthy, far from healthy. And I think I see it with my clients, I also see it in my own life, that we are tempted here, we are invited here to go up a level. That's how I see it with these eclipses. It's eclipse time now, so all people are more triggered to, and especially in Leo, there could be some volcanoes starting to get active, and we thought, oh, this subject was asleep. I'll give you another example in my own life. I have two people now that are very, very dear to me. A good friend of mine and my mom, they both have had a stroke lately. It's terrible. It's terrible to see. It's terrible to know that they are suffering and etc. And when that happened with my mom recently, and I also lost my dad from the same disease. But when that happens, it's a very karmic thing. It's a very karmic thing because you get this opportunity to grow tremendously, to make even with trauma for trauma and all the karma that you've been building up, and to make this a bit more, to make this positive. And that's also a thing that is happening in September, mainly with a lot of planets in Virgo that is going to trine Pluto. So after this shaking up during now in August, there is going to be some positive transformation coming up for sure. And that's something that is very positive, because if you know that, then you know why you are in pain or why you are dealing with the situation that you are dealing with, because it's there to make us stronger, and it's there to transform us, and it's there to show us, here, like with me and my mom, for instance, there are things that are coming up that I thought I dealt with that a long time ago, but it doesn't, you know. It's also for instance, being very practical here, and she's not, you could say she's a narcissist, but she has those traits. She has a Leo rising, yeah, she has. And she wants us to take care of everything, and she clings to us. I mean us, the children, she clings, she attaches way too much towards us. That is not really healthy. So it also is for me, you know, I have to be very aware of what's happening here and distancing yourself a little bit. Helping, of course, but distancing. And it's because I went through this now that I feel that I also went up a level in my knowledge and understanding, and hopefully I can help people with that. I mean that's a bit my destiny in my astrological chart, to help other people with this. So yes, it's a very interesting period that we are in. Extremely interesting. Maybe I think this is going to be one video out of many about this subject, because we all deal with it. We all do. Even the strongest people, even people that we think they are so strong. I have it in my life now. I have a couple of friends that I always think, oh my God, they are so strong. And they are now also struggling with this Leo kind of boundary, confident kind of thing. So we're all in this together, in other words. And the beautiful thing about this is love. The beautiful thing is that we can help each other with this. Having said that, I've ended on this beautiful positive note of Leo trait, which is love and from the heart. I wish you all the best. I wish you a very good eclipse, and see you soon. Bye bye.